What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by two very special guests. Recorded this video for the second time today because, well, to kind of explain what happened earlier, I recorded this with the intention of making a discussion around this topic with people that I, number one, usually don't record with, and two, I want to grab people across the world. So initially, I grabbed Herms from Kazetshu, and Shika's from the UK. Shika's Clouds, he does Naruto videos. And I also wanted Expert Games, but he is actually in school because he lives in the future, because today is Sunday when I'm recording this, and for him it was already Monday. So I had to just record with Shika's and Herms, and my audio screwed up, unfortunately. But nevertheless, the show must go on. So here is take two. But without Shika's, we actually got Kwame instead because Shika's had to go. So hopefully the audio won't screw up here. But essentially the topic today is, since there's no new episode of Dragon Ball Super this week because there was a women's marathon this past weekend, I wanted to kind of do I don't want to say report card, but kind of like a report card or a progress report of the Champa arc so far, and to kind of compare it to the first two arcs, the direction that Toriyama's taking us, the new characters, the action, and to see what the community overall thinks. So what I want you guys, the viewers, the awesome viewers, to do now is comment below your thoughts on the Champa arc so far, any predictions you have, kind of like what you think about the series so far compared to the other arc. Are you happy, not happy, are you satisfied, whatever. And, you know, we'll just have a discussion like we do all the time. But essentially, this is just going to be discussing the series so far. And, of course, next week, we'll be back with some more awesome action as we get back into episode 35 of Dragon Ball Super, which is going to be pretty exciting. Not going to spoil it in case you aren't caught up, but it's going to be pretty exciting, and I cannot wait for that. So how about we start with Herms, actually, who, like I said, this is the first time he's doing a video with a Dragon Ball YouTuber. I mean, he has this podcast he's done with the Kazetshu team, but I don't think you've done videos with other Dragon Ball YouTubers, have you, Herms?
No, not so far.
All right, well, go ahead and introduce yourself. Everybody knows your name. Everybody sees your name all the time. Every drama YouTuber says it. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who you are?
Well, I'm one of the staff over at kanzenshu.com, which is one of the, probably at this point, the oldest Dragon Ball fan sites still going. And fan sites are what they had before YouTube was invented, for any younger listeners.
Yep. So basically, anytime we say Herms, this is that guy.
Yeah, so each week, I do translations for Kanzenshu, and so over on Twitter, each week, whenever the next Super episode airs, I just watch it live and then translate any salient plot points or anything else I find interesting, and then I type up an episode summary, which eventually gets cleaned up and goes on to the Kanzenshu as its own and a page for that episode.
So in other words, if you watch Dragon Ball Super live every single Monday, or not Monday, excuse me, Saturday, because today is Monday, on Saturdays, if you want to follow Herms, I will link his Twitter in the description below so you can keep up with whatever's happening live and then kind of understand what's going on. But Herms, since you already kind of started the video, how about you go ahead and jump in and just basically compare and contrast the Champa arc so far compared to the first two arcs?
Well, obviously the big difference here is that there's no movie to compare it to.
Right.
But we do have the manga version by Toya Taro, which is running in V-Jump, which they purposely moved, like they skipped, it started out doing an adaptation of the Beerus arc, and then they skipped doing a manga version of the Frieza arc so they could go straight to doing a preview of the Champa arc. And so up until like right where we are now, everything that's happened in the Champa arc on TV had appeared in the manga first. And now, finally, the TV version has surpassed where the manga is. And so I think it's very hard to make comparisons, but especially since the TV show, the story arc is still ongoing. But I think if you compare the 7 episodes that have aired so far to the first 7 episodes of the Super version of the Beerus arc, the Golden Frieza arc, I think overall the Champa arcs comes out ahead. Okay.
Now, one of the big differences between this arc and the last 2 arcs is the pacing. Originally, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people complained about how slow the Beerus arc as well as the Frieza arc felt. And now it's the complete opposite. I feel like this is going pretty fast. But now some people are bringing up the fact that this pacing is too fast. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think definitely the Frost fight could have used an entire episode to itself, Goku versus Frost. Because as is, they got kind of squeezed into the second half of an episode.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard to believe, actually. We've had this tournament arc, but so far there've only been 2 episodes of actual fighting, just these last 2. But it almost feels like it's been more than 2 episodes. It feels like at least 3 episodes in my head, because like Botamo versus Goku, that could have been an episode of its own. Goku versus Frost could have been its own episode. And then Piccolo versus Frost, well, that was its own episode, but it almost Like, I almost feel like they had enough material to make 4 episodes if they had chosen to go that route.
So I've talked to Kwame about this off camera, but I have a strong reason to believe that the Champa arc itself, not the full series, because we don't know what's planned after the Champa arc, or if there is any plans. I have a strong reason to believe that the Champa arc will be roughly 26 episodes long. And the reason I say 26, it's a weird number to bring up, is because the average anime, to those who don't know, is 26 episodes long. Now, your average long anime like Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, whatever, they're a lot longer. But the average length anime is always roughly around 26 episodes long. So based on seeing how fast they're trying to basically squeeze out all the pacing in this, I feel like what's going to happen is this first half of the actual tournament, the initial tournament, is going to be roughly, I want to say, around 10 to 12 episodes long. And then the rest of the arc will focus around something else. Whether it be, another fight, another person interrupts it, maybe Hit takes over, he steals the wish, does something. We have no clue what's going to be planned there. But I feel like one of the reasons why they're trying to rush out the tournament is they want to include the first half for the tournament and then the second half for something else where it's going to get really, really exciting. Because what we mentioned originally when we recorded this earlier is we have not even seen Super Saiyan Blue yet. And it'll be kind of weird to get hyped up on the whole God Key thing, Super Saiyan got Super Saiyan, and then not see it at all in this arc. So because of the pacing, I feel like the reason why they're trying to squeeze in so much so fast is to kind of get this tournament out of the way and then take us to the next part of the series where it's going to get, the next level of craziness that Dragon Ball has always been about. What do you think about that, Herms?
So essentially you think it's going to be sort of like the 22nd tournament leading into the Piccolo arc, or the tournament during the Buu arc that gets cut off midway.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's definitely a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not, and this tournament is, in fact, the entire story arc.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, there's no way to say for sure, but I can definitely see them going that route.
I want to ask a quick question to the viewers, and this is very unlikely to happen. I can't see this happening, but if it happens, how would people feel, comment below, how would people feel if Super Saiyan got Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Blue, whatever your name preference is, ends up not being used in this arc at all? Comment below and let's see how pissed off the famous would be. But Kwame, based on what me and Herms talked about, how do you feel about everything? The first question being, compare the arc to the original first 2 arcs.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it, the whole Champa arc is, for all of the hardcore Dragon Ball fans, a lot of us really wanted us to get to this arc already because we're like, yeah, we already know what happens with Battle of Gods. And honestly, in terms of quality, I would say that this arc is an upgrade because obviously new content, obviously it can kind of follow its own path. So
let me stop you there for a second.
Yeah.
Don't compare it to the fact that you've already seen Battle of Gods and Resurrection F in movie format.
Right.
I know it's a tough question to ask, but try to think of seeing Super for the first time in both those arcs and then get into this arc. How would you compare to that?
See, I was going to go there, Dino, because the thing is, it's kind of hard because we already saw Resurrection F and Battle of Gods before, but what I find interesting though is that Super did add its own twist to certain things in it, which I think made it different in some ways at least. And for that, I give it at least some credit. I think it was a downgrade, but I definitely think it's not as bad as other people are trying to say it is. It has its problems. It's not a perfect series. I mean, hell, Dragon Ball Z wasn't a perfect series, and neither was Dragon Ball, but I think that it's definitely been a moderate series. It's not complete trash. So now, in terms of this new arc, though, the only problem I really had was, I believe it was episode 30 or 31, in which they had one episode where they're basically just showing flashbacks of what already happened, and then Piccolo decides to go, fight with Goku, Vegeta, and the rest. That was the one episode in this arc that really, really pissed me off. Outside of that, all the other episodes were pretty moderate or decent. The Piccolo versus Frost episode, that one angered me for, other reasons. But
Herms, if you don't know, Piccolo is Kwame's favorite character.
That would be a tough episode then.
Yeah.
So, Kwame, the question I want to ask you is, had Piccolo beaten Frost, would your opinion be any different?
Oh, very different. Well, it's also, if he lost, okay, listen, if Piccolo had lost in another fashion, I would have been satisfied with that too. It's the way he went out is what kind of angered me.
Yeah. But Piccolo's gonna forfeit now. Oh, but I'm not right. No, Piccolo, you're forfeiting. Oh, okay. Pretty much what happened.
It can look like a little weak punk to some little short sand.
Okay, so I guess the next question I want to ask you is the same question I asked Herms. How would you feel about the theory that stated that this arc is going to be roughly 26 episodes long, and that the reason why I feel so quote-unquote rushed in the first half is because they want to get into the next stuff in the next half of the arc? Do you think how likely do you think that is?
Well, here's the thing, Clayton. The reason why I believe that this arc is possibly going to go a lot longer than what you were suggesting is because of all the things that Kaba was telling Vegeta. Because when Vegeta was talking to Kaba and saying, "Well, I'd like to go to your planet one day," I felt like that's a huge foreshadowing, and I can't see this series just ending off with the Universe 6 tournament because it would feel so empty, like they just fight in a tournament and then it's just over. I think that the whole hype of bringing all these characters is to expand on the story past this Universe 6 arc, even though, nothing's been confirmed yet. So I actually think it's going to go a lot longer than you suggest.
Actually, it's funny because Sheikah's, in the original recording that we made earlier today that got screwed up by the audio, he mentioned that had the series been shorter, the quality would be a lot better. Because what you do is you have your anime budget for a series, and then you kind of stretch it out. So he thinks it's going to be longer as well. But when I say longer, I don't mean like 26 episodes versus like 100 episodes. When I say 26, I mean it could be like 30, it could be 40. But it's just my complete guess for now that I want to toss out there. Because we do know that there's going to be a fourth ending coming out soon. And my theory is that the fourth ending will go with the second half of this arc that's going to end it. Now, I'm not saying that I think Super is going to end after this arc. I'm just saying this arc itself, that's how I'm like, picturing it. And I feel like the direction they're going to take. Because we don't know what's going to happen afterwards. Because for all we know, Toriyama can keep the story going. Toei can keep the story going. At this point, the series is making a lot of money. And the ratings are great. So, there's a lot of potential in the future. But for now, we're just discussing the future of this arc itself. So, yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, I guess all three of us can agree that this arc has been better so far than the first two arcs. And again, the advantage there is the fact that we have new material, which is it's going to kind of gauge our opinions differently. Because if we watch Battle of Gods and Resurrection F without seeing the movie first, I feel like, our opinions could have been different as well. For all we know, a lot of you guys, actually those watching, answer this question as well. Who here likes this arc the most? Or if you don't, what arc do you like the most between Dragon Ball Super? Battle of Gods, Frieza, or Resurrection F? Wait, Battle of Gods, Frieza, or Champa arc? Comment below and let's see what the community thinks. But yeah, I think we probably pretty much got our point across. Is there anything else you guys want to add? Herms?
I guess not.
No, nothing really. Kwame?
Well, I just think that, the sky is really the limit because, even though some characters have lost, I mean, first of all, Goku was expected to win that fight against Frost and then Piccolo lost, so I think that they've already kind of hooked us in with a certain amount of interest.
I'm glad you said that because this is reminding me of a complete section that I had in my original recording that I want to talk about. So I feel like with this ending of this arc, the way they're going to go is we're going to get some serious fan service over the course of the next couple episodes. For the next 3 episodes, we know that Vegeta is going to get a lot of action. Without spoiling too much, we know he's going to fight 3 warriors, and he's going to defeat them mostly. So this is like the Vegeta spotlight to help make the Vegeta fans happy. Now, as far as the finale, we already know it's going to be Monaka versus Hit. That was kind of advertised since the beginning of the arc. And I have a theory, because this is the Goku show after all. No matter how you believe it or what fan you are, Gohan fan, Vegeta fan, Goku fan, this has always been the Goku show. And I feel like what's going to happen is Hit's going to beat Monaka, and Universe 6 will technically win, but then they will, throw in the question that technically Goku should still be able to fight because he got disqualified, or he lost to someone who got disqualified. So I feel like the finale will actually be Goku versus Hit, because if you remember, that was on the Times Square equivalent in Japan back in New Year's Eve. So I feel like we'll get the fan service from the Vegeta side, we'll get the fan service from the Goku side afterwards. How do you both feel about that?
What about
I do feel like it's unlikely that the big final fight, the big climax, will be Monaka versus Hit, just because it would be strange if it was a character we've never seen versus another character we've never seen.
Right.
So I do think either they get Goku back in there, maybe Gohan will show up. Probably not, though. Maybe anything could happen, really.
What about Piccolo? I was going to ask you that, Dino. What about Piccolo? You think he's coming back?
Well, so far, I want to say no. I don't think he is.
It's like, all signs point to no.
All signs point to no. Let's ask the magic meatball.
Ask again later.
No. But how do you feel about that, Kwame? About the idea of they're going to make both sides of the fan spectrum happy? Because remember, it's always been about Goku and Vegeta every now and then, but I feel like they've always kind of had a favor to one character or another, and that especially happened in Resurrection F. So I feel like with this arc, they're going to go kind of in between. Vegeta will get a spotlight against these next 3 characters. Goku will come back later to win it all, and then from there, something else will happen. How do you feel about that?
I think it's probably going to happen, but I'm probably not very supportive.
Well, let me know what you guys think about that idea as well in the comment section below. But other than that, that's pretty much everything. So again, the next episode of Dragon Ball Super will be this weekend, which will consist of episode 35. I don't want to talk about the title just in case people aren't caught up. So just check it, online and stuff. Follow Herms. I will link his Twitter on the description below, and also check out Kazetsu.com, which I'm sure you guys already know about it because we talk about that pretty much in every single video. Of course, you guys already know Kwame. He's going to be linked in the description below as well. Is there anything you two want to add to this before we end this?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Just check out Kanzenchu.
Check out Kazetsu. Other than that, I guess let us know what you're thinking about the series so far, or at least this arc. Any predictions you have as well, feel free to drop in the comment section below. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed us today. This has been Rhymestyle, Herbs, and Kwame, and we'll see you guys in the comment section below.